Hello, Val. Thank you for arranging time to meet us and share some of your experience in the education system. Okay, can you tell us more about the education system in Singapore and what you are doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Artelia.
Yeah.
I'm an educator. I'm the co-founder and principal tutor of One Tuition. So I've been an educator for 7 years, and we've been running One Tuition for around 4 years. So in One Tuition, we are actually aiming to help our students to be a confident learner, and at the same time, we want to help them to achieve their goal in a positive learning environment. Because we believe that when the kids feel safe and protected when they are learning, it will be very, very helpful for their learning process, their learning progress, and at the same time, they will be able to achieve their goal.
How long have you been doing education business in Singapore?
I see. So I've actually started 7 years back when I was having my holiday. So I actually was looking something to do as a part-time job. So after exploring a lot of different options, I decided to work in this enrichment center for kindergarten kids. So that's my first exposure of education. So in the process, I realized that there are a lot of things that we can do to actually help children, and I realized that there are a lot of difference during their time as compared to our time last time. So education is changing, and at the same time, it's a very meaningful process to actually help these kids. So I decided to pursue education.
Okay. So what are the value that you are looking to impart to the kids in the kids nowadays?
So if you realize, actually, right, things that they are experiencing now is very, very different from last time. And last time, during our time, a lot of education is actually putting a lot of emphasis in content, meaning the knowledge that they need to learn. But because of 21st century, a lot of things are changing. So actually what we are focusing on is not only imparting the knowledge, but actually the values and the skills. So a lot of skills in 21st century that we are trying to actually impart to the kids through our learning process, including collaboration, critical thinking, creative thinking, and communications. These are very, very important skills that we want to actually help the kids. So when we are conducting our classes, we are not only focusing on giving them the content, because we believe a lot of the content can actually be Googled, but a lot of these skills, I feel that they need adults to actually guide them along. So these are actually some of our focus when we are actually helping the kids.
Okay, I think you bring up a very interesting point about learning beyond the content, right? So a lot of education system are like emphasizing on social skills and development. But can you tell us more about the skills that will empower them in the future? Because things are changing.
Yes.
Like the way we interact with people no longer have to be physical. It can be virtual, right?
Correct.
So the way how the doctor operates, it has been replaced by robots. So how do you think your education will suit to this current changing trend?
Okay, so one of the things that I think is very important for the kids to learn is being adaptability and flexibility. So I think in a way, right, in Singapore, the exam system, the type of the questions that is being asked during the exam, in a way has been arranged to actually help the children to learn a little bit more about critical thinking. So I mean, if you remember during our time last time, right, whatever we learned in the textbook is going to be tested the same way. But now the kids have to actually learn to apply the knowledge. So they learn certain knowledge, but when it came to the exam, it's going to be a very analytical kind of questions. So they have to actually not only recalling the theory part, they have to know how to apply the answers in the questions. So I think this is a very good way to actually teach our kids critical thinking and problem solving skills. Another way of introducing the skill is actually we are emphasizing a lot in collaboration skills, because at the end of the day, when they are working, they are not working alone, but there will be a team involved. Especially big companies like tech startups and everything, right? They emphasize a lot in collaboration. So even for our classes, we actually do set aside times for them to do discussion among themselves, so that they know that how to work with each other, how to complement each other. At the same time, they will gain their own confidence where they actually master certain skills.
Yeah, I think that is a very important point that the kids can have to be equipped with, right? So a part of that, but do you see your role has a diminished compare to the past, where teacher in the past used to like teaching one way, one direction, but now the kids are trying to find what they can learn and what they can apply at the same time. So do you see your role has diminished?
Okay, instead of looking that the role is diminishing, I will say that the role is actually shifting. So last time, right, as a teacher, right, most of the teachers' role are actually teaching, but it's in a passive way. So it's more like a show and tell kind of like concept, meaning the teacher will actually explain and the students will be like listening. But now, right, most of the teachers, we actually act as the coach or like a facilitator. I think that's like the more proper term. So as a facilitator, we actually kind of like still guiding them on what to do, because as much as we want them to collaborate and as much as we want them to solve problems, they still do need a little bit of like guidance on like what to do. So I think we are more to the observer and we actually give them feedback. At the same time, it will still give them some space to actually like acquire the skills itself. So I think it's like a win-win solution. It's not really diminishing, it's definitely changing, because like the whole ecosystem is changing as well.
So in Singapore, education in general has moved shift tremendously from traditional teaching method. Now they are looking more toward holistic approach.
Yeah, so if you really observe it, like for the past few years, Singapore education has been like putting quite a bit of emphasis in academic achievement, but we can see a very good initiative from the MOE to actually shift the whole education system. So even in the MOE website, we can see that they actually recognize the importance of 21st century skill competencies, and there are actually seeds of changes in school. For example, more assessment are actually project based, because like for some of the years actually examinations has been actually removed. Like for example for P3 and P5, the examination has actually been removed, and the weightage of the assessment is actually based on project-based assessment. But at the same time, as parents and as the rest of the community, we also actually need to support this initiative, because even though MOE want to shift, the trend of the teaching, right?
Yeah.
But without the support from the community, it's going to be very, 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 very hard. And at the same time, a lot of teachers are actually taking their own initiative as well to do more interesting learning process for the kids, like bringing real life problems from outside and apply to their class programs. So I think this is a very good initiative from all the different the different community.
From another perspective, it is good for parents, and also it is good for parents and also especially for the kids to learn more things beyond the classroom. But student being a student, they are still restricted to a grade, and we know that the grades are important to secure a better future in Singapore, which has been has been ongoing for several decades. So there is a stigma that kids have to excel through grades. When we talk about creative learning and learning beyond the classrooms, there are no specific grades to grade them.
Okay.
What's your opinion about it?
Okay, I understand. I mean, like the reason why grade is still perceived important, because it has been there for many years.
Yeah.
But even in the report card by the MOE, by the schools, they're actually emphasized on the skills or on the soft skills instead of just focusing on academic. For example, some popular schools, they actually do indicate like the report card actually indicate the and acknowledge the importance of diligence, of teamwork, of the ability to listen and speak in class, which is actually not just focusing on academic.
The CCA activities.
The enrichment, and then there are few other options or few other ways to actually enroll in school without using academic, like for example DSA. And even for like some award given by the government, okay, it's actually not only using academic results as the main criteria to achieve the award. They actually look at the leadership as well. They actually look at different roles taken by students in school. So I think there are already a good initiative, a good steps of shifting from academic results to a more holistic development of the kids.
I think that is good. We hope to see more to come for the holistic approach. So now when we talk about holistic approach, there are some students that's more inclined to like music. There are some more inclined to programming. There are some more inclined to science. Things are changing. Which path that do you think suit best to the kids?
Which path suit the best for the kids?
For Singapore to have a better living in Singapore, because eventually it's like to do what they like and to live comfortably. These are two different things. You can't be living comfortably if you don't earn enough, right? So what is the path that you would recommend for the kids? Should they go to the music, or should they go to like science, which has been the mainstream for people to climb up the ladders?
So I personally feel the best path for the kids is the path that the kids is passionate of, and they are willing to sacrifice and work hard for it. No matter whether it's an art industry, music industry, tech industry, because their environment now is very different from our time last time. For us to succeed, in the past, we have to pursue certain industry because there's only that particular platform. But for our kids' future, there are so many platforms that is beyond our current imagination. 2-3 years ago, who actually think about TikTok? But TikTok itself can actually be another channel for people to actually earn some income. So as I personally believe, as long they are actually passionate about something and they are willing to do their best for that particular thing, I think they will be able to excel no matter where they are. Because it's very hard for us to actually limit what kind of industry is good for our kids and everything, because in 5 years time, 10 years time, we are not going to happen. Yes, we are not going to know what's going to happen for our kids. So I think the best way for us to actually help to prepare our kids is actually focusing on their skills instead of just purely depending on the knowledge. Because when they have the tenacity, when they have the grit, when they have the passion for something, they will be able to work things out themselves.
I think that is good. So we are moving on to the next question. So what do you think of Singapore education in comparing with other developed cities? Do you think that we are one step ahead, or there's anything that we need to do differently?
Unfortunately, sadly to say that the current system is still kind of harsh for some of the students out there, especially we have a lot of students with learning difficulties. They are actually having difficulties in catching up or even following the pace due to the lack of resources. So if looking it this way, I mean, a lot of us, we actually prefer to have a less stressful kind of like environment for our kids. But again, we also cannot deny the fact that the whole education environment, they are trying to accommodate as much kids as possible. And I mean, we already can see some initiative towards that way. And again, like what I shared before, this initiative cannot do well without any support from from the rest of the community.
When you talk about the rest of community, what are you referring to? Are you referring to the parents?
Parents, corporates. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these a lot of like the parents and the kids perspective, they have to do well in school because they want to have like a good job and everything. But as the companies, private companies, or the private companies, right, especially when they want to do like hiring, like what kind of like criteria that you actually put out there. If the criteria of the hiring is actually focusing on academic results, then definitely a lot of these kids, they will actually aim that as their goal. But if I mean, like if you see like bigger companies like Google, Facebook, and everything, right, they're actually not only focusing on academic results per se. They actually want to have people who are like creative. They want to have problem solvers. They want to have like project managers. They want to have people who actually can work with others. So I mean, the companies do their role as well to to accommodate this change, this shift.
I think it's like I think the corporate has been adopting this approach, and I think that is the direction to go, because it's grade doesn't determine every single thing.
Yes.
Right. So. Okay. Yeah, I think it's Singapore education. I think Singapore schools. What I heard from parents, they are starting to bring in a lot of programs beside of academic. They are starting to put a lot of emphasis on coding programs, which is what we are seeing now, changing the world, changing the way we live. We are seeing a self-driving car. We are seeing the AI and stuff like that. So I'm seeing the same kind of thing that you are doing in your center. That you have other programs. Can you tell us more about why you are bringing these programs?
Actually, we just want to give a different exposure for the kids, because we know that at the end of the day, their main goal is not just like PSLE or O levels. There are like a lot of industry beyond that. So what happened is, especially during the holidays, we actually collaborate with like other enrichment to give them holiday programs to just expose them to different things, like for example like coding or art classes, or public speaking classes, drama classes. So at the same time, it's not going to be like bored the kids, but they can learn different skills from the different programs. And at the same time, we want to show to the kids that the world is about collaboration. It's not about competition. And when you guys collaborate together, there will be more things to achieve in the future.
Yeah. So I think the world is full of possibilities which they can explore who they want to be in the future, right? So like they can be a YouTuber, which didn't exist in the past. So I think that is something good that you are bringing into the students. So we hope that you continue to do what you are doing and keep making a good impact for the students' life.
Yeah.
So we thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share what we do.
Okay. You're welcome. You're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.